seeing the truth isn't always as linear as we expect it to be. I feel like that is the energy I'm picking up for you and just the collective of anyone watching. Welcome in. This whole energy has to delve into the idea of truth, the archetype of truth, and how I was getting also this notion of like you don't look like how you used to look like, you don't act like how you used to look like, and it's almost like someone's asking how did you get where you were, and how did you even get like make it that far or continue to grow. And the other side of it is that you're kind of asking yourself that, but in a very different way. You're like, how did I actually make it through this? How did I make it this far in the sense of everything that you've been through? So the key here of the truth isn't as linear as we expect it to be and really see us making ourselves out to be when we're like thinking about like ways to explore the truth and discover the truth about a lot of different archetypes in your life. I feel like you experience archetypes almost like on a daily basis, and you can experience them on such like not just a trivial level, but like you understand the two sides of the coin, the two sides that make the coin a whole coin. It's not just one or the other. Like you have a real hold onto duality. Like you understand the archetype of duality a lot, and I think that's the big thing that's been playing. Like loving someone's action here but hating their action over here, and understanding, yeah, like I can love this part that they did, but I can also hate this other thing that they did. And clearly intending what was something that felt like worse for you is going to get better. I don't know if that's like if you were just feeling worse and it caused you to almost have like this awakening. I feel like some of you who are just feeling like, oh, I'm just at my worst right now, you know that you're not, but it feels like mentally you're at your worst in the sense of, oh no, like we're gonna take these baby steps backwards and we need to take baby steps forwards. But what if you need to sit still? What if all of this energy is asking you to sit with yourself and be still? And just to clarify, if you do see some smoke on the screen, I do have some incense burning. That's what those little wispy things in the camera sometimes are. So, clear, honest message, Spirit, for this collective. Oh my gosh, that fell on the floor. Queen of Cups. Wait, there we go. Ooh. You hold something really close to your heart, so when you're thrown off balance by whatever life may throw at you or whatever life is exploring for you, you become acutely aware of the things that aren't going to fulfill you. And even if there are certain, not necessarily mindsets that you have, just like things that throw us off and have start us to question, should we have a different mindset about this? Are we doing this the right way? A little imposter syndrome here, imposter syndrome there, but it doesn't even feel like imposter syndrome. It feels like imposter syndrome with yourself, if that makes sense. Like you're seeing your work for what it is, and you're kind of having a dissociative moment of like, hey, is that actually like me? Yeah. Yeah, it is. And you're being utterly fulfilled by what you're doing right now. And I think the biggest part of wanting to get into this truth that is the truth within the truth, you're having to explore things that almost feel like out of this world, kind of. Like this whole card here is in space, and there's not really like a ground to stand on. I know this person is sitting, but it's like you can't really even see the ground. Because this is supposed to be water energy, but at the same time, space and the water are kind of like mixing together in this card. And it reminds me of how when we become ungrounded on certain things, it leaves us in an area of unknown, and not necessarily of like lack and needing to find ground, but I think this is like when you do find yourself not grounded currently, it brings up these moments of introspection that have made made the statement make sense of the truth isn't always as linear as we expect to like discover it on. And it's through little keys, little clues, little synchronicities that we discover this truth. Now, I don't necessarily understand what this truth is about, but what is going to happen once this truth is discovered, or what advice can they get for exploring said truth? What do you need to hear, to be honest, about this whole thing? Ooh, Devil reversed. Queen of Cups, Devil reversed gives me this energy of like you have a grand and grandiose idea of the things that hold you back, the things that we could always, not necessarily we have to be perfect, but there's always, I feel like, something that you need to work on. And that mentality right there is also something you need to work on, because I feel like you understand you aren't going to be fulfilled by something that's completely perfect. Like, it's the imperfect, or the perfection in imperfection, that makes you so intrigued. Queen of Pentacles. This is where you're finding your ground again. When you are really, like, to your core honest to yourself, you're breaking through so many barriers and boundaries that I don't think you felt like you could, like, break through these, like, boundaries of not necessarily like insecurity, but just like, oh, I can't do this because of this, or I'm trying to, like, there's certain like routines that couldn't work out. There's something about like the mindset that was very key, and you were functioning and working off of a certain mindset that still, you know, and you were aware was holding you back, but not to like a huge extent. It's just like understanding we can't all be perfect, so you're constantly trying to understand what truly fulfills you, weed out all of the negative stuff that doesn't fulfill you and that doesn't serve you truly, and also rid yourself of any other projections. I feel like someone needs to do a cleansing and like banishing of like people's projections, and kind of like reclaim your power, recall your power back to yourself. And when you do that, you find yourself in the most grounded and potent state of power and energy, and just very general spiritual terms. Ugh, words are hard. There's so much potent power in your creativity and your creative solutions to certain things, because a lot of the opportunities that this card talks about, it almost is this transmutation of, oh, okay, I'm regrounding myself back into myself. See how there's two flowers on this? On each of these queen cards, it's the same flower, or like the same amount of petals. I think you're not moving from one different thing to another, but you are also really aware of what can like slip past you, in the sense of like, oh yeah, that is just someone else's projection, or oh yeah, that is just this part of my brain thinking we can't do something, or thinking all the like something is better when it's really not. Like, there's something about like every time you get back to like asking yourself, what is fulfilling to me, what is unfulfilling to me, what serves me, what doesn't serve me, how do I ground myself, and can I even find like finding time to ground yourself, because at that point is when you can create the most opportunity for yourself. I feel like you're really willing to explore how this healing can work for you. But what else? What else is going on here? Because I feel like the fact that there's two queens out here, I am getting that other energy that is like elusive. Ooh, we have the Star, the Hanged One, and Five of Wands. Hold on. I'll hold it this way. The Star, the Hanged One, Five of Wands reversed. I feel like what has been happening is you have been healing something that has been like overdue. But it's not the healing that's overdue. It's almost like the closure of the chaos that's overdue, because something about this feels like you haven't fully had closure with the chaos, because sometimes when things get chaotic, we get caught up, getting caught up, like I said in the devil card, getting caught up on those things that, like, oh, is this really me? Does this serve me? Does this really not serve me? Like, what actually is serving me and fulfilling me in this life? And being very clear about what we want. But the Five of Wands kind of is giving me this energy of almost forgetting that the chaos can throw you off, and then right when you remember that, you're like, oh, okay. That's where, like, the reverse energy is like, okay, wait, I got this. And then trying to not only just accept the chaos that's at hand, but also evolve from it. There's something about the Five of Wands that's like, while there's all this chaos of the volcano in the background, this person's creating a whole new energy within themselves through the chaos. And through that, I think that is going to be the big thing that is going to set you apart. I'm hearing that there's like set you apart from not almost like everybody, but like you understand your creative potential so well that some people are just even jealous at the fact that you know what you want to do with your life. Like, you understand what you desire, what you feel to your core. And yes, it's been a long journey to get to where you are currently, but at the same time, some people may get jealous that you're aware. And not in a bad way. They could care a lot, but I also see another energy that's really elusive, that's like they're trying to be elusive about their jealousy. They're trying to not feel that they are jealous of you, because it's going to bring up like all the work that this other energy needs to be doing. This doesn't have to be just one person. This could just be like an archetype of people, because I feel like that the archetype of people that don't really fully like express themselves to their core have a hard time like healing those things that truly need to be healed, and they constantly do unfulfilling things to think that they're fulfilled, and really it's just always the same lesson that they're having to learn over and over and over again. The moon card in this card is like very representing, or very much representing the moon card in tarot, I'm feeling for you, because the moon card brings the shadow to the light, and that makes someone uncomfortable anytime that they're really, really exploring, hey, do I like this? Hey, do I like this? Because you can sit here and explain to, like, I want to say, you could talk about why you love something and how you're passionate about something almost like for a whole day, and it won't even like stress you out at all. It's just like, hey, this is how I feel about it. I'm so like god awfully in love with what you like, what I do. I'm so passionate about it. I can really explore this and expand in this. And some people who try to do that same thing, like explore, expand, and grow. Some people who tried to explain that of like why they're passionate about something, when deep down they're really passionate about other things and they're not really willing to be honest with themselves about it. When you explore that side of you, that's the thing that people do not like when it comes to, I guess, disingenuous people don't like genuine people. I feel like that's the big like call here, and it's almost this like, hey, like you kind of figured out the truth within the truth, because I'm getting that's part of it, is understanding that it's not just someone who's unhealed, because I feel like that is something that is very easy to like say, is like, oh, that's just an unhealed person. No, they may have healed certain things, but they're not being honest or genuine. That's where we get the word disingenuous, and we really understand, hey, like this person is only having to constantly heal things, because sometimes people can heal. The reason that someone may constantly be having to heal things and rework things and reevaluate things is because they're not honest with themselves, and you're 100% honest with yourself. And I think you see that clearer than almost anyone else can see it around you, because I feel like the people around you that like that you want to be around, the like-minded individuals, your friends, family, whoever you actually like confide in, I feel like they see it. Like, they see how you really are through your actions. Like, you're gonna have stuff to show for it. This person's gonna constantly have the energy of, well, I want to do this, I'm really passionate about it, and this thing really fulfills me, but for all the wrong reasons. Something really fulfills you because it's you, like it's to your core, something that is connected to you and your personality and you as a person. Something somebody has isn't that it, like it's not connected to them at all, and they think it is, but I feel like the more they try to discover what is for them and what serves them, they're constantly met with the fact that, hey, I don't like this thing, and you genuinely like that stuff, and that makes someone kind of jealous is what I'm getting. And it feels really like silly to say that, but hey, the tarot can talk about a lot of different things. Ooh, Prince of Wands, which is Page of Wands, Six of Swords, the Sun, King of Cups, and Nine of Wands. Okay, let's talk about the first three here. Page of Wands, Six of Swords, the Sun. When you get really passionate and fired up, you are able to really move on to this brighter, like, light at the end of the tunnel. Like, the Six of Swords literally going into the Sun card is very reminiscent of, like, you explore what doesn't serve you. You take what you can when it comes to your mentalities and your efforts and your routines and your exercises of life, like how you live day to day. Like, you change. I feel like you're someone who changes up your daily routine as you discover what is fulfilling to you and what is for you, and you change your routine accordingly if you find things that don't serve you or don't fulfill you. And I think you really are exploring that more and more and more, and you're passionate about that, but someone's not passionate about that work because they may have not been able to ever do that, move on and move forward in life with what truly fulfills them and what truly serves them, because that's the enlightening thing that's happening here, because the Sun card is all lighting up your world here, and you are the King of Cups when it comes to your emotional state and how you handle your internal world, the internal energies of your soul. Like, you go into this Nine of Wands and you say, I'm willing to reevaluate anything that's happening here, because sometimes life will change, we will change as people, and you want to keep like a check and a balance for yourself because you are greatly passionate about a lot of things I can see here. And someone may not be able to recognize how they can fit all of these ideas into one path, all of these things into one path, because they're still not willing to let go of the Six of Swords card that is there. This is where the King of Cups comes into the dualistic nature of this other person just ignoring what they really want to do, what they're really meant to do, even, because I feel like they have a soul journey, a soul's purpose that they aren't following. And that's kind of heartbreaking, I feel. Maybe that's the part that hurts and is kind of throwing you off, because I think you saw where the instability lied, and you tried to like tell someone, hey, this is how you could be more stable, or you had like a lot of energy to be like, hey, this could be more stable for you in your life, but this person was just not having it. And when I said it's like you knew where the instability lied, that word lied, it's like I I'm not sure if I was gonna say like some other word, but the fact that I said lied, it's like they lied to themselves. And I'm hearing they've lied to themselves and they still lie to themselves. And I feel like the more that they continue to do that, it's going to be what we consider somewhat of a lost cause of a situation. I feel like that's the big thing that's really been like awakening for you, is that sometimes like some people are beyond the help that you are willing to give, beyond the help and forgiveness that you're willing to explore with them, and even provide like energy to be like, hey, yeah, if you heal all of these things, if you acknowledge all of these things, like we can be cool again and like chat, and I can give you the time of day. But it's this energy of not expecting much. And I feel like there's two things. Someone's denying their Ace of Swords here, and you yourself are finally putting your like this like a stake in the ground. Hold on, what is this that's poking out? Seven of Pentacles. Okay, yeah. You're really like making your mark here. Like this Ace of Swords reversed is like you almost like putting your ideas into action. Like making your mark on the earth by like stabbing the sword into the ground and like literally using it as a mark here. Because the Seven of Pentacles is kind of just really confirming that here with all of the growth and the little seeds that you planted like years, months, weeks before, who knows how long, that are really growing. Like they're growing in more ways than just one here. And you know it's not time to really pick these fruits off the tree yet, but you know when the timing will be there. And I think part of that timing is like almost too like it's giving you a lot of anxiety. And it's not anxiety in like a bad way. I feel like it's more of like being nervous about like the one thing I can relate this to because I'm a dancer and I love performing. No matter how long you've been dancing, if you're having to perform a dance that you spent like months learning, months working on with a team or by yourself, once it's time to like really perform it, you get like stage nerves and anxiety like crazy, but not in a bad way. It's in this like I'm so excited to get on stage that it becomes like a little bit of anxious nerves, like, oh my god, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. And I feel like someone's kind of feeling like that, but knowing that you got to take your time. And I feel like if someone this other energy were to be in your shoes, they would just move way too fast for themselves to where they wouldn't be able to catch up. They wouldn't be able to understand where to catch up, I feel. Hold on. Some of these cards were separated for some reason. I forget why. Okay. Let's get some oracle cards here. Let's start with actually this one over here. What do they need to know further? What is the further advice for this reading? Did something flip? No, nothing flipped. Something's clear. Something's super, super clear right now. I feel like the clear part of your intuition that almost feels slightly delusional is just what the enemy and adversaries want you to think. And I think you got to give yourself some forgiveness over doubting yourself and your own ideas and your own ability. I feel like you've had the classic imposter syndrome in the past, because this is the big thing that's been healing like truly within you as well. Because I feel like everyone has imposter syndrome with things. So like when it came to like the core of your imposter syndrome, that's the thing you've been really understanding how to move forward and move on from. And the next step is to ask yourself of forgiveness for this whole thing, because I feel like you gotta forgive the fact that you didn't see the amazing creative potential that you are currently like exuding right now and exploring in yourself, and even like exploring and expressing with your own actions. Like you've created stuff that like proves that, you know? And this level of forgiveness is so deep to your core that I feel like it is like more than just a breakthrough. Like you are breaking through into this like cosmos area of this card here that is just like, oh my enlightenment. Oh my lordy lord. And with the King of Cups, that is a big, like the Queen and King of Cups out here showing duality again, and the King and Queen also are representing the cup sign, which is very like a big understanding and exploration of your emotions and enlightenment of your emotions. And when you are really, really honest with yourself, when you bear those storms and those waves and those hurricanes of your emotions, you can bear any trouble and struggle that comes to the forefront of your mind, or any other not even forefront of your mind, but like any obstacle in our lives, and that leads to us having to like heal new things. Like you're ready to tackle anything in your mind that is like who you truly are. Retreat. You need to go on a vacation. When you are going on this vacation, maybe you are going on vacation, maybe you are on vacation, something vacation, even if it's a staycation. One funny thing that makes it feel like it's a vacation is I live with my boyfriend, and we have a like mattress pad thing. It's like almost like a glorified like foam pad, but it's like it is made to look like a little mattress. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but it is actually small enough to fit in this room, and we both have our desks next to each other, so we will use it to like watch shows and watch movies and have a sleepover is what we call it. And there's something that needs to be done. There's something that needs to be done in order to bring back a creative sense of healing, because we have healing energy here on the bottom of the deck. We have healing energy. I'm going to take that out because I want to keep pulling more cards. I think you're really becoming aware of how your actions and how you've been doing things that fulfill you, that serve you, have been healing you. And I think you need to go in and retreat into your own mind, retreat into your own heart and your own soul, and relax. Relax within yourself. Like, trust that everything that has happened, that you've been clearly like correct on, I'm saying and hearing, like you've been clearly correct on everything that you've assumed about something and you didn't have evidence for it. Your crystal clear intuition is chef's kiss on point type deal. But I want to say that this is like a time to have a vacation with the self and trust yourself. Have a vacation from your worries of, am I this, am I that, and having a vacation from your checks and balances. You are good. You are okay. You are okay, and you are intuitive. You're okay to sit back and relax and enjoy the creative potential of your intuition and spiritual journey, I'm hearing for a lot of you. What else does this collective need to know? And what's funny enough is I'm filming this on 7/7/2025, July 7th, 2025. It's currently 3:50 p.m., 3:51. I don't know if those numbers are significant. 77351, or even 1235. 1235. 4 is the number of stability and instability, balance and imbalance, duality, and duality in the balance. Because it's all about how structures and systems and routines can also keep us in balance, but we have to really know the core of what keeps us in balance. The support beams of this number 4 here, you know, the 4 corners and the 4 walls that build a house. 1, 2, 3, 5 being very significant right now is almost like you're forgetting the 4th like thing. You're forgetting that key element, and that is to also sit with this like stability and balance and trust it. Trust that your support beams are strong. Trust that those walls are insulated. Trust that roof is leak proof. I don't know where that rhyme came from, but we have a couple cards here for you. Oh my god, they're upside down for me. Silly goofy. First, we have past, present, future. I don't know if it just got a little brighter. My planter light just turned on. Past, present, future. Look, it's number 4. What were you forgetting now? Here, you take that. What do we mean when we talk about our past, present, and future? We are actually looking at our past selves. We can't really picture our future selves, and I want you to remember that. Your understanding of your past self to the T, I feel. I feel like some of you I really don't need to explain too much about, like exploring and talking to your past self, but if you are new to that concept, go within like, where were you 2 weeks ago or last month? And doesn't matter what time you're watching this compared to when I'm watching it. Like from right now, when you're watching this to a month ago, what kind of person were you? How are you being fulfilled? How are you treating things that served you? Like, actually going into those memories and then saying in that little imagination, third eye kind of energy, really saying to yourself, okay, me from the past, like, how would you respond to this thing that you want to explore in your mind? And when it comes to asking the future self may not be something you can envision, because we obviously don't know what the future is going to physically look like, but we know the intentions that we want and have for the future. And what I like to do is think on the double side, the other side of the coin here of the future of, oh, I'm going to do this thing in the present so I can help out my future self. Like, think about things you've set up for yourself. So you're like, oh yeah, I'll remember that for later. If I set this up right now, my future self will like be reminded of it. That exact energy and the archetype of doing things for your future self so they don't have to work as hard, whether it's physically, emotionally, or mentally. And all of that, so many synchronicities right now with 1 2 3 4 5, and then leading up to 6 and 7, because 7 is the area of strength and having strength and really encompassing inner strength, because that's the thing that's going to allow you to really not only retreat, but retreat into healing. When you feel like you don't understand something about yourself, you're retreating into healing. You don't know like what this looks like for anyone else but yourself, I feel. And I want to say that you can help people if they were to ask you questions and ask you for advice. Like, you help them very well. It's not like you like don't know how to read people. I feel like you understand how to read people like a book, in that phrasing. But there's a key to this, that you know how to retreat into your healing when things are at the most troubling moment, because something needs to be released. Something isn't either being said, being thought of, being done. And it's this curious thing that you've explored, that you're like, the more that you explore the healing, the more that you can actually feel comfortable, like, in your strength. Not just comfortable in life, comfortable in your strength, when you are feeling truly, truly, truly strong. I haven't even gotten to the rest of the cards yet. The next one is It's All Good. Anything that you set your intention to, it's always good. It's usually that card means like, yeah, everything's fine, but like, no, you are all good. Like, all of you is good, and not just like the you're okay, things are fine. You are a good person. And it's something that is not just like representing it as like, oh, you're nice and you're kind. Like, no, this is good. Like, this is a solid structure. You know, when someone is like working construction, you're like, oh yeah, this is good. This support beam is good. You know, like, that means it's like set in stone, and you understand that it's going to work, and it's good, it's fine, it's gonna be strong. And that puts that into a whole different perspective here. Duality. We started with duality and we ended with duality. Now that we've come full circle here, let's get some circle cards out. Alrighty. Clear, honest message. Oh, hello. So doing this whole thing of retreating into the healing is where the shapeshifter energy comes into. That's fucking crazy. I love this. Oh my god. Okay. I'm seeing this card in like a whole new light right now. And then we have the animal. You are super strong when you are able to shift from like one perspective to another, one idea from another, but it's not just like other people's ideas. Like, you're being able to think of literally the dualistic nature of things. Oh, this is how I feel about it. This is how an animal would feel about it, if we want to get very layman's terms here with our example. This is how this person feels about it, this is how I feel about it, this is how someone else could feel about it, and this is how I feel about it. And just exploring this, you're not placing judgment. Like, I feel like there's an energy of understanding that you're not placing judgment on things anymore. And I think through us exploring this together in this video, you've been able to kind of crack open that thing that I feel like has been a bit locked away, and not being able to, I want to say crack open. I know this is like, there's like a handprint on here. I don't know if you can see the like very faded handprint on this card, but I always see this as an egg that we crack open. And it's so interesting to me that it's like the handprint kind of symbolizes like the mark of your soul, the mark of you, and what makes you you. Like, I call myself a dancer because I am a dancer, because the whole reason I was even put into dance classes at 6 years old is my parents told me that I was already just dancing and doing my thing. And it's something that I just sit here and I'm like, yeah, like I recognize that is me. And I think that's the thing that's kind of like cracking open for you here. So let's get a couple more and then we will finish this reading off, because I think we are hitting every nail on the head here for you. And I'm going to read this card, but I'm going to, it's because I don't think I don't think I've ever read this card or pulled this card. That is wild. Maybe like once. But I use Oracle decks just to, for context for any new people watching. I say this all the time in my videos, but every time I get an Oracle deck specifically, I learn the card interpretations as I read it for myself, and slightly as I read it for you guys. But there's this energy of like, I only need to know the energy at the time because I like being surprised by something new, because my fresh new mindset can bring on a broader and newer perspective than me flooding my brain with all these ideas. And something about me explaining that kind of cracked open something for you. We have the womb here, but this triangle is in the shape of fire. Fire is also represented in the Strength card in tarot. And if you have a lot of fire that you need to stoke in your heart, understand that just because you're dealing with water doesn't mean you don't have fire within you. Explore the fire chakras is what I'm hearing. There's a sense of holding yourself with this womb card. I've never gotten this one. I don't think I've gotten this card. I'm like sitting here, I'm like, this was in the deck? Like, I love being surprised. It's one of my favorite things. Especially, like, that's what I do for my future self. I like giving myself, my future self, a little surprise. So maybe, just maybe, I'm gonna let you interpret that for yourself. Oh, and even the womb is not, when it's upright, it's technically water energy. So think of the dualistic nature of having to, when you're turning upside down the water energy, it's turning into fire. Metaphors, yes. The womb, the nest, the belly, the origin. Everything has an origin story. The womb archetype asks us to contemplate the beginning beyond the beginning, the mother beyond the mother. In a world that often negates the power and necessity of feminine principles, this card returns us to the warmth, tenderness, and sacred intelligence, repeat that, sacred intelligence, from which we came. It is a card of receiving, not achieving, of accepting love from the mother of us all. She is the life-giving force that forgives and cherishes even the most wounded, desperate. I don't like that word. It's always hard for me to say. It's like separated, the most wounded and like kind of separated soul. No matter how lost you are, the womb awaits your return to help you heal and grow. This card is a call to keep things simple, to return to be reborn in the same... Wait, hold on. Oh, whoa, okay. I don't mean I hate that word, by the way. I don't know how to say it half the time. Disparate. It doesn't sound right when I say it like that. I just want to say separate. Because to me, my brain is just gonna like say desperate, but something about that could still relate to this, is what I'm also kind of getting. Um, yeah, no matter how lost you are, the womb awaits your return to help you heal and grow. This card is a call to keep things simple, to return, to be reborn in the name of love. The womb is everywhere. It is beyond gender, beyond time. We are within it as it is within us. Consider that the Mother Earth must also have a mother. Imagine her. That is so cute. Oh my goodness. What would honoring the feminine look like to you? Where would you begin? Imagining yourself as loved is a good place to start. Imagining yourself as loved is a good place to start. And it's not delusional. You know what it is? It is nourishing. It says, when in light, nourishment, harmony, warmth, and love. When in dark, stricken, ecological crisis, infertility, and balance. And infertility could talk about like your literal things you're trying to grow in your life, of not just kids, you know. Think of like opportunities you're trying to grow. I kind of see that as a big metaphor for that sometimes. To go deeper, Gustave Courbet's The Origin of the World. See if I can get that pretty clear on screen here for you. I'm not working with the camera that actually has a focus on it, so I don't have well, this is technically like a webcam and not a camera, so if you can look up this card and the page of this card, I suggest doing that and coming back to this if you need to hear this bit of the reading. But there's something about like, okay, yeah, this part. What would honoring the feminine look like to you? Where would you begin? Imagine yourself as loved. Imagining yourself as loved is a good place to start. So I think the big thing is when someone is sitting here getting into the feminine energy, there's two sides to what you would do, and this other energy that feels like opposite to you would do. They don't ask themselves the first two questions. All that this leads to is imagining yourself as loved, and then convincing yourself that that is a good place to start. There's someone that's not asking themselves, what would honoring your soul look like? Like, there's a lot of that you honor in that question. Just being able to feel like you're honoring yourself by asking yourself that question. And I think that's the big thing that's going to bring that harmony, that warmth, that nourishment to your heart. Because the womb is the most nourishing place for all. How many nutrients do we get from the mother when we're in there, you know? And how much nutrients do we get from Mother Earth? And even how much nutrients do we get, not just from Earth, but from the fire of the cosmos. And seeing it more than just the sun, seeing it as literal vitality, as life force, is going to allow you to turn this water into like a gold-like fire energy, even transmuting this fire water energy into something completely new, because you understand duality like no other. And I don't need to tell you otherwise, other than possibly one couple questions that I forget how it's worded, so I do have to go to the page because they ask questions in the description and it stuck with me so much that I absolutely love this card. Oh wait, we were almost there. Dang it. Okay, so the hunter typically has a weapon of choice. When this card appears, it is critical that you ask 3 questions. What am I hunting? Why am I hunting it? Is the weapon I hold so tightly in my grip truly needed for the task at hand? When in light, you feel focused, energized, respectful, seasoned. When in dark, irresponsible, violent, and poaching. When you activate the hunter archetype, you're aligning your energy with the great creatures of the world. The lion, the wolf, the tiger, the shark. Do so with care. I'm hearing that these animals... Oh, we got some cards that knocked over. So I have everything sitting on the bottom of the deck. So here's the Ace of Swords here. They're all like stacked on top of each other. What's hiding? Freedom from the Eight of Swords. And 10 Pentacles here is what's on the bottom of the deck now. 10 Pentacles. So, if you know, you know. I'm going to get into the animals of this lifetime are giving you an understanding of life force within themselves, because sometimes people are like, I'd rather be an animal because they don't have to worry about paying bills and shit. It's just about survival. And yeah, that does sound really nice, but we kind of forget the animal within us that can still reach a lot of the successful goals and even enlightenment that we want to explore in our lives. There's a lot that is like being hunted in your heart, in the sense of like you're hunting for the secret, but now it's time to let go and be honest that you've done a lot of like healing here, and through all of this knowledge you're gaining, you need to sit with yourself and say, hey, we're okay, we're good. Like I said, the support beams that you've put in place are solid, and the foundation is very like clean and clear, and you're ready to rebuild again. But sometimes you gotta save that work for the next day when it comes to the construction of this new tower, you could say, like the tower card in tarot. This very much representing this whole read is like you're building like that literal foundation, making sure it's clear, solid, setting the support beams and marking things out and planning it out in a blueprint if you need. And then you're like, all right, time to work on that tomorrow, or work on that whenever you are ready, whenever you are really like, okay, in your mind, your heart and your mind are clear on when you're ready. That's when you know. That is all I have for you. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.